Hi everyone, welcome to Dusty Shelf. Here today in Billericay at the Billericay Model Railway Group's 2025 exhibition. Well, a very warm welcome to Billericay. Starting with this layout called Seaton. I'm just going to pan along, give you some idea of the size of this. Really nice size layout, and you'll see on the front here all of these photographs all the way along. Now what I'm going to try and do is drop these in during the editing. So if I just start here at the station, you can see the station building right at the end here. And then if I move along, we've got this little goods shed just behind the green loco there. And again, I'll get some pictures of that. And this wonderful wagon shed here. Now from this end, I've just got a photograph here with the doors open. I'll just catch this loco movement. And then at this end you can see the timber supporting the side of the building, just propped against the side. And on the left hand side of the photograph you can see the timber on the top of the roof with the vents with the original photograph there. The other end of the layout, we've got the signal box here and a set of beautifully modelled signals. And again with the signal box, there is a photograph to accompany it. I do like the way the grass is modelled here. And well, the wonderful Tollesbury Quay. Now, I've filmed this layout a couple of times this year. I'm filming it again because, again, it's in different lights. The first time I filmed this was in direct sunlight. Second time was with its sort of overhead lighting. And this third time is just sort of in the hall here without any overhead lighting. And again, all the colours, textures, they're all different once again. Truly is remarkable. So effective. I mean, just on the quayside here you can see all the fish. You can see the spilt water from the fish boxes. I think I've mentioned that one before. In the back of the lorry here, all of the details of the goods. The fishing nets there, and the shed in the foreground, and the corrugation on the roof and on the sides for that matter. Little boat hoist behind the tractor here. Now I mentioned the building at the end here last time, and I panned in underneath. But I'm just going to lean over the back here to the goods shed. So well modelled. And then the buildings at the back. Let me just catch this loco movement. Loving the bike mounted on the front of it. Can you see that? Anyway, at the back here, these lovely low relief buildings. Got blacksmiths just here with the horse being led in. And you can see the let me see if I can pan in. My camera doesn't pan very well, but you can see the blacksmith working away in there on the anvil, and the fire going behind, and then the fly press just outside. And the chandlers here with a bike against the window. A lovely street lamp outside. This is one of those layouts where every time you look there's a different detail that you hadn't seen the last time. again, just mentioning the light here. There's different light, how many different textures are coming out. Just down here by the tractor, you can see all the sort of muddy quayside. The textures around the base of the crane. Now just reading here, Tollesbury Quay is based on the Kelvedon and Tollesbury Light Railway, opened in 1904, and it's an extension of the branch line to Tollesbury and the Blackwater Estuary. Known locally, where did I read that? The Crab and Winkle line, because of the quantities of seafood it transported from Tollesbury. The layout depicts the sea. Well, a lovely play on words here. Billericay, and here is the quayside. You see the ship in the foreground here against the quay. Now, those that don't know the area, Billericay has no water around it, has no rivers, has no quayside, and is not spelt with a quay at the end of it. But yeah, as I say, lovely play on words. Let's catch this DMU moving. And indeed the station behind the DMU there is Billericay Port. Yeah, I'm guessing if you're not local to Essex or not visited here before and don't watch Gavin and Stacey, you won't really be very aware of Billericay. Well, a gentleman was just telling me this building here, this is his first go at modelling, and what a fantastic job. I mean, this is all made of wood, all CNC'd out, the windows are all handmade, and then covered in brick paper there. And then also on the quayside here, you can see it's all milled out, all the bricks on there, been weathered on top there. And then the other thing to point out are the two different surface finishes here. We've got this end, it's a little bit more realistic, and then the sort of unweathered condition on this part of the quayside. Just panning past the larger building, which is unweathered, but I actually like it unweathered. I think it becomes a focal point of the layout like that. I do like the corrugated iron covers, just with a little bit of weathering on them. And then the other warehouse at the end here, which is weathered. I do like this as the focal point, just my opinion. I quite like the unweathered look of that. Looks like a sort of restored building, if you like. I do like the loco shed in the foreground here. And I guess this is a good time to mention the two scales that are on here. We've got 009 at the front, moving back and forth, and then 00 gauge towards the rear. And in between the two, a dual gauge track, which you can see running through here. So we've got 00 gauge running off to a branch line here, and then a crossover at this section here where you've got 00 running all the way down, but also the 009 running through the same intersection. Yeah, very cleverly done. Yeah, loving all the foliage in the background there. Gives a depth to the layout, which is always good to see. Yeah, very nice indeed. That's Billericay. Well, what a wonderful layout this is in Engage. This is Fordon Hill. It says here it's a double circuit with 5 sidings, 2 stations, small town above the railway at one end and a tunnel at the other, with the makings of a small fun fair and concert on top. There's plenty of things going on, including a disco in the pub and a car that has argued with a tree. It's on fire and is smoking. So let's start with the car and the tree. You can see the effect just here. Oh, and smoke to add to it. So on the hillside here we've got the makings of that small fairground. You see the concert over the back there, or the disco. We've got the Harry Potter car in the tree. Windmill with sails turning at this end. And a larger windmill in the middle there. Fantastic lighting package on here. Look at all the lighting in the station. All the buildings are lit. You can see at the top here, this building's all lit up. I'll come to the rolling stock in a moment. Over this side, wonderfully modelled playground. See the RAC van with the lights going. Another fire over the back here. The effect of the smoke there is really well done. I like that a lot. Very effective. Loving the little Mini here in the foreground. And just behind it, Mr. Bean driving along on top of his Mini. What a fantastic layout, it really is. So kinetic, so much going on, so much to look at. Everywhere you look there's something else to view. And we get some shots of the locos. Well, an absolutely fabulous layout, all in N scale. Very, very popular with the younger visitors here today. As I say, so kinetic, so much happening on here. Brilliant lighting package and lots of movement. And so with the two windmills on here, the locos, the flashing lights, the disco at the far end. Yeah, so well done, very well executed. Well, one of the club layouts here, this is Glaston 2 and Oakwood Common. Two layouts in one, modular sort of affair, but I've been watching this gradual progress over the last 2 years. I think I've been coming to this show and saw it from virtually a baseboard to last year when it started getting some really good scenery on, and then this year it's moved on a little bit further. So scenery in the foreground here. So this side is Oakwood Common. Well, this side of the layout is Oakwood Common. So it does say here, the club's modular N fine scale layout. The station is set in the 1960s, so both steam and diesel traction can be run. The track is from fine tracks. Buildings are a mixture of card and 3D printed. And the modular approach is showing in its full potential this year, with the layout able to share its fiddle yard with Glaston 2. So we'll go to Glaston 2 in the middle in a moment. Sorry, as I say, it's just over the far side there. But let's have a look at Oakwood Common, and you can see the station here and some of the buildings that we spoke of. Liking the wood panelling on the fencing here for the gardens overlooking the station. The gardener attending the flowers on the front there. Lampposts are quite nice, aren't they? Especially in N scale. Very effective. Washing on the line. And the station. And as I said, over the last couple of years, gradually seen the model come from strength to strength. You can see down the front here, still under construction. Little building in the foreground, but it gives some idea of how the buildings are put together with this sort of plasticard. Fantastic bridge model over the back there. Look at that, running all the way down. And the fiddle yard over the back. Right, just going to catch this loco coming through the station. Well, at the last moment, instead of coming into the station, it went off into the fiddle yard. So change of plan. I'm going to catch the one coming across the bridge instead.
But just to make a small correction, that Oakwood Common is the club layout, and Glaston 2 here is actually privately owned by the, well, he's the exhibition manager here, and what a marvellous layout this is. I mean, look at the detailing on it, absolutely superb. Down the valley here, the water, I'm loving the way the rocks are done on the side here, and the cutting through here. I mean, my cutting on my Marklin 3-rail layout sadly didn't look anything like that. I wish it did. But the way the grass has been applied on here, absolutely beautifully done. Even the, you see the hillside here, obviously designed to lift off in case of a, you know, derailment in the tunnel. But even with the little joining piece here, the way the join isn't in a straight line, it's sort of jagged, means that your eye doesn't go to it. And again, the rock face continues towards that end. Now, so I made my way along a little bit and just focusing in on the building here with the scaffolding around it. I mean, was just talking to the gentleman, I did say to him, how on earth do you move a layout like this? I mean, in lots of vans and very carefully, obviously, but just look how fragile that model is there in front of us. I mean, I couldn't move that few feet without breaking some of the scaffolding there. The water is very, very effective. And for N fine scale, this is an absolutely huge layout. Look at it going all the way down there. Again, so much depth in the layout. You've got this sort of water meandering down this side here, so it running all the way down, and these nice big mature trees in the foreground, and then a lovely modelled signal box at the back there. Let's come down to the goods yard. Just move my way down and see how the goods yard is all laid out. And again, the scenery changes. You see the texturing of the grass as it moves from sort of the grassy bank on the outside and transitions into the dirt and grind of the coal from the goods yard. And just panning all the way up to the end there. We're just giving a little bit of background to the layout. This is Glaston 2, N-gauge fine scale, the same as Outwood Common over the far side. It says here that Glaston is a sleepy village on the A47 just south of Rutland Water. The Midland Railway passes under the village in the Glaston Tunnel through the valley and onto the Wing Tunnel in the north. The assumption is that the line between Manton and South Luffham was in fact built further south between Glaston and South Luffham. And finally, it says in this configuration it's sharing running space with Outwood Common and its Fiddle Yard. Like its predecessor, the track is hand-built to a high standard using British fine-scale components and operated in DCC control. Well, just to pick up on the point that the track is all handmade, look at the scissor crossover here with the points at the end. What a marvellously complex piece of track. So just panning up past the goods yard here. Wonderful engine shed there. That's going to look fantastic when it's got the lid on. Under construction, and you can see the other scissor points at the end here, or scissor crossover, sorry, built on a bend. And again, just to repeat, the track is all very detailed. I've just had a look at the individual chairs that are put on here. Yeah, quite amazing the level of detail on the track on this layout.
just as I walk away from this layout, I just noticed down here, little chimney for the tunnel, hidden down behind the trees. Final fabulous last touch there. Lots of interesting bits and pieces for sale here. I shall have a good look in a minute once I finish filming. Well, larger scale layout here. Lee Valley in Old Gauge. Just panning along to get the detail of the layout here. Now it says here, Lee Valley Railway Centre sits on the site of the old station. Once a thriving station, however, with passenger numbers dropping due to the expansion of London Underground, the line closed in the mid-60s. Let me just catch this DMU going past. Now it says here, the layout uses emergency bus control, something I'm not particularly familiar with servo-operated points and train-on-track detection to correctly control the colour light signals. The layout is DCC, and the buildings are a mixture of kit and scratch built, with some in-house design and 3D printing to enhance the layout. I'll just catch the tank engine moving. Do love the D-Day remembered truck on the back there with all the people standing in the back. It's coming back again. Let me capture that in its detail. Do like these wagons, commemorative wagons. I like the way all the people are getting a little tour of the railway.
And you have to engage yourself in it. Because you need to.
Now coming up on the channel shortly, I'll be giving an update on my own layout. So over the last few weeks I've actually torn most of the existing layout to pieces and kind of starting again, and I am considering putting in an O gauge track along with the G gauge track, that's my existing G gauge track. So yeah, hopefully maybe this weekend, if I get it tidy enough, I'll give an update on where I've got to.
Print that off on a label, print that, a couple of bits for the money, that's good enough. And they're all easy things to do.
Well, I'm going to say it again, still one of my favourite layouts to film, Ambleton Vale. Filmed this a couple of times this year, and indeed every time I see new details. Won't do too much commentary on this one, but just want to talk about the last show. So I was last weekend, I went down to Faversham and had a small exhibition on in the Guild Hall there, and I put a video up on the channel. If you haven't seen it, go and check it out. It's a really good show, done in chronological order, with all the layouts sort of starting from the 1930s and then working clockwise around the room up until almost the present day, with 5 different layouts there, all to quite a high standard I felt, and yeah, beautifully presented, wonderful exhibition. Anyway, a gentleman has commented, a gentleman who lives in Germany has commented on the layout, basically implying that our railway shows here in the UK aren't to the standard of that you'd find in Germany. And whilst, you know, I'm fully aware of the German railway scene and you know, the likes of Faller and Marklin and the detail that can be purchased on the continent. But I mean, when you see layouts like this, truly, truly wonderful. You know, we do have a very high calibre of railway scene, and more importantly, imagination and creativity. You know, it's very easy to
to buy models that are pre-weathered, or models that you know, like the Fowler models with all of the detail built in and all the mechanics built in on them. But the real skill in modelling is a wonderful detail that you find on a layout like this. But I think the key point I wanted to make is these exhibitions, not only do they raise money for the clubs and charities, but they are a wonderful excuse to come and meet people, to have a chat with people, talk about the railways, and just enjoy our hobby. And yeah, I for one love coming to the smaller shows in the UK, and long may they continue. Well, a little display here from Bridgecraft, these 3D printed bridges. Now the sales, if you want one of these, they are available on eBay. I'm sure if you have a look, I'll put the name in the caption, and yeah, you may be able to find these, but you can see over the back here, 3D printed Menai Straits Bridge, American larger scale bridges here. And as we pan down around the back, I particularly like this lattice design over the back here. O-gauge lattice truss bridge. We've got the arch bridge here, again O-gauge. And right at the end here, O-gauge modular viaduct kit. EM gauge here, Arlingham. Now again, reading from the information on the layout, Arlingham is a fictional town in East Anglia at the end of a secondary branch of the old Great Eastern Railway. The layout is set in BR times in the 1950s and early 1960s, towards the end of steam and the onset of the diesel period. Locos and rolling stock are a mixture of modified and ready-to-run, kit-built and scratch-built models. Track is a mixture of plastic chair track and copper-clad point work, and then it concludes to make a special point of showing the background here, which is the back of the buildings, which I guess, yes, you would typically see from the railway. Just a quick shot here of the fiddle yard, just while the loco is coupling.
Raffle tickets I've got.
I'm loving the signal box here. You can see all the lever frame controls just out the front of it. And all of the control work running down to the sets of points. Beautifully detailed. Things like the fence panel here. See, fence panel's knocked out. This is lying on the floor in front.
wonderful layout here, Southcliffe. Now loving the funicular railway on here. So I'll just say my camera battery's gone flat, so I've had to switch over to the phone, so hopefully the sound is coming through. If not, I'll put some captions in. Loving the beach on this. Let's catch the loco movement. Cliff face is very, very effective. Now, I mentioned earlier the layout that I'm in the process of building. I do plan on having a coal lift on there, very similar to the funicular railway here. So, yeah, quite interested in watching this for a moment. Fantastic lighting package as well. See the way the street lights pointing down and lighting up on the road. Very nice indeed, Southcliffe. Well, DCC concept have a stand here. I'm just going to pan down to the locos that are moving back and forth.
For example, because they would just go through their standard routine, backwards and forwards until you turn the layout off. Whereas with Super Panel, you could have one button that sets the shuttle going, and that'll just set everything. So you turn the layout on, nothing's moving. You press a button that says go.
What a great layout here. This is Newby Central. Wonderfully detailed in this smaller scale. Get some idea of the layout. Let me just pan down to this end. You can see there's a turnaround loop down the far end there, through a show scene, and then a turnaround loop at this end. Let me just catch the loco moving. Well, I've just popped to the other end of the layout, and you see the coal yard here with the pit head, and I'll show the control system in a moment. Let's film this loco going past. And as you can see, the loco returns on a return loop at either end, and then runs back through the show scene. And you can see here the point control, obviously the lights indicating how the points are set, and all the switches there to change their position. I believe a lot of the buildings on here are Metcalfe, and they do look absolutely superb. Loving the flowers on the little pub in the corner there, and the flowers on the platform. Well, as in the past, a very enjoyable exhibition. I spent most of the morning in there, quite enjoyed looking around all the layouts. But I'm going to wrap this video up, so thanks to all the exhibitors and organisers. Really good show, really high quality of layouts. And yeah, I'll wrap this one up and just say, if you've enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up, and why not check out the channel, lots on there. If you can subscribe, you'd be doing me a really big favour. And I'll just leave it by saying, thanks ever so much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.